All right, guys, we are going to start, and I'm going to be sharing this as well. Should anyone need to refer back to the lessons, because you realize that with your assignments, even for future references, you are going to need tips for content marketing. Okay. But before we move on with today's lesson, how are you guys? Who is not feeling well? Who is not good? No, it's easy to see happy faces and to see sad faces. So there's no way, Sino, unfortunately, you can tell me that you're not good. I know there are people who are pretenders as well, like you can see them looking very happy, yet there's something eating them deep inside, you know. I know Baches Bushu has paid. Do you guys ever get heartbroken? Like actually self-diagnose yourself and like, I'm really heartbroken. Really? Okay. Do you think heartbreaks can affect your performance in class?
Yes.
How? From books when you're heartbroken? I mean, when you say it hurts, like, do you feel like someone is beating you?
No, it's heavy.
It's heavy. Okay. And how often do you get heartbreaks? Like the frequency, like when last time? Can you be heartbroken like 2 or 3 times a month or once a year? Okay. We have never been heartbroken here. Or maybe you are not sure whether it was a heartbreak or not. Because sometimes we feel like, you know what, I've never been heartbroken. But because I feel like there are people whose hearts are made of stones. Right? Like even if you tell them it's over, their day would continue as if nothing happened. Or even if they hear that someone is passed on, you can't see them even cry. But that person was very close to them. Not that they had anything to do with their death. Remember, guys, heartbreaks is not only about the Jolo, right? Right? It's,
Five modules out of 80, except for one, $59. The others are going to.
so you mean 1%?
I was trying, because like, that lecture is so unfair, just 1%. It's one, just.
Really?
Like even if I'm trying to like,
So the percentage can break your heart.
Interesting.
Okay, I'm learning a lot. Yeah, a good girl to me. And it also differs with institutions. Boston, I think it's 80. Where I was in Monash, when you've got a 70, when you've got a 70, you've got a distinction. Then when you've got a 80 and above, you've got what they call an HD high distinction. So some start at 75, it depends on the institution, that's what I'm trying to say. You know, because the international was an Australian campus, you know, but at UJ, it's also a different thing. At Vita, I'm sure it's a different thing. So, yeah, I do understand what you guys are saying. So, we are going to talk about content marketing. Content marketing can also be a serial heartbreaker in the field of marketing. And I've asked you guys before, like, how do you feel if I'm working for the company You are working for the company as a digital marketer. You are tasked with generating content and managing content for that company. Each and every campaign, guys, has got its own targets. So you don't post for the sake of posting. You post for the sake of meeting those targets. For example, if this campaign, it says that you need to generate, at the end of the campaign, you need to generate 50,000 impressions, for example, or 20 likes, whatever the target is. And you, as the content manager, you post that content, let's say on Facebook for argument's sake, and it only has 5 likes. It is supposed to generate a minimum of 150 likes in a month, and already it's 25 June. You are left with 5 days, and it has got 5 likes, meaning that there are 145 likes that need to be achieved. Wouldn't that cause a heartbreak? What do you think, guys? And not only from an organization point of view, even you as an individual, because sometimes the company can spare you like, oh, maybe it's the timing, one or one. But how would you feel as an individual that did a campaign and only generated 5 likes? Pardon? So content is tricky, guys, especially nowadays, whereby individuals, like individual content creators and brands, they are competing for attention. Either email addresses, either mobile applications, either social media, they are competing for attention. Think about the things that you are exposed to. Sometimes even feel like, you don't have enough time to scroll out everything, whether it's on TikTok and so forth. Like brands are throwing each and every shade of content to you, and those who are doing right, they are getting your attention, but those who are not doing right, of course, they are not meeting the intended targets, which is always, from a personal point of view as a marketer, trust me, it can hit you hard. And also from a branding point of view and from a career point of view, you can lose your job from not meeting the targets. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. Because it's pointless for a company to have you do their content when you're not meeting the targets. I mean, how do you feel, guys? Because asking out someone has got also everything to do with content. I don't know if you guys know. I'm sure ladies would agree with that. You need to curate the content on how I'm going to approach her so that she can say yes. So imagine if a guy, January to December, busy, reaching out to ladies, no one is giving you a chance. Isn't that a sign of your heartbreak on its own? Who is that? Is that Nosipo? Nosipo, is that a sign of heartbreak? Approaching ladies left, right, center. Because sometimes it has got nothing to do with your looks. It can be something to do with how you are saying it, which is content. What kind of a content are you using, to get that person's attention? Because it's all about attention, nothing else, attention. To make someone stop, to make someone finally give you a number, to make someone say, let's go for a date, to make someone even visit you. It's not easy, is it easy, ladies, to just visit someone in their place? I don't think so. So why is it that you need to say to them, to make them leave their comfort zone and come and visit you? Pardon?
The more you approach someone, so create scarcity.
The more you approach it, I didn't hear what you said.
For example, I've noticed a trend between ladies, how they approach guys, stuff like that.
Oh, approaching guys.
So yeah, exactly. So then the nonchalant guys who are not interested in women actually get the girl. But the people who fall for them or try too much will scare them away. So create scarcity. So the more scarcity it is, the more better it is. It's kind of like branding.
Okay. So scarcity, people playing hard to get or?
Not paying hard to get, but just create yourself as a individual brand level to the point where you don't even see the value in women coming into your life. And you just, like how Bugatti is creating its own brand.
I can touch you to some extent. Okay, so what about those? Like I pay a bill, they would have it in 4 or 5 minutes. So do you think they've got a good content now?
Think about it. How much cost, okay, Bugatti and different cars, right? Creates scarcity, right? Okay, so Bugatti has scarcity, we know their luxury brands and stuff like that. And then Polo Vivos are not as scarcity and stuff, so it's creating attention. But the difference is more people would want to go to Bugattis or admire Bugattis than Polo because Polo is still undervalued. You know what they say, the most.
Always popular, that's why we want it. Give an example.
That's why.
I'll give you an example of Mobicel. People will be comparing Mobicel with Apple, right? Like Apple. But there is a huge majority of South Africans who have Mobicel, especially from the lower rank because it's affordable. So it starts. I get what you mean. And we can debate a lot. Some will say there are people who are loose to put it that way, or
loose.
yeah, who are loose. Like I want to use the word cheap because who are just easy to get. Not in a bad way. I feel like my wife was this one. Always the best. Always regret that. Always regret.
Oh, but
No, I explain. I know what just came to your mind, guys, to start like that. So I feel like it's not like she's losing everyone. But when I was in that moment with her, I feel like I don't know how to put it. I'm not meaning that she's on the streets or stuff like that. But for me to also have faith in it, I just feel like she was good for me. And there were many people that I knew that were trying so hard, but she loosened up to me. No, something like
Maybe
that.
she realized that she wasn't.
No, she loosened up to me, she was loose. Now, sometimes she always says that we're not in one fight or something.
That means we like you.
Pardon?
That means we like you.
That's really loose.
No, no.
That's loosening up. You guys are talking about loose about being damaged goods or something. I'm not talking about that. Yeah, I know these words. When you live in society, that what does someone is a loose person? Yes. So, but what would make someone loosen up? Is it the content? Is it the branding? Guys, there's a difference between branding and content. You need to understand that. Because not everyone will get someone's attention is all about content. Some can be an appearance, which is a form of non-verbal content. Some nowadays we know very well it is money. There are some people not good with their mouths talking, but the moment they flash 100 friends, so we get it. So am I lying? Isn't it so? Like some people do not have content, but their money does the content. Like they don't even know how to say things. The moment they flash 100 friends or 200 friends, then the attention is all theirs. Some can be the brands that they wear, expensive clothes, whatever it is. So all these examples that I'm giving, guys, it's almost related to brands. There has to be something that you can use as a bait, okay, for customers to have your attention, because attention is not something that is easy in this era whereby we are surrounded with so much noise. There is so much noise, guys. You log into your email, so much noise. You go to social media, so much noise. Even on the streets, there's so much noise. Now, for Sino, when she's walking and you say, hi, she's like, no, I can't give you attention. So how do I need to do it? I guess, how do you feel? I don't know if it happens to a generation, but in my generation, we used to listen to a lot of the spirits. Like, that's where we used to hang out, like on the bridges and stuff like that, and to grab lessons attentions. Does that happen in your hood? Because people are good to their phones than being on the streets.
Yes.
I mean, James, how much time, how many more time do you spend on the streets? If you just relaxing, just like this. It's rare, right? So where do you 5 million, okay, mine, so?
Yeah.
What did you find in the streets? Online. So it means that if you're to have a partner, and a chance of them, they've found them online.
No, but sir, when you say the streets,
No,
you don't mean literal streets, you just mean outside.
outside, it can be even at Nando's, can be anywhere on the streets. Even Groove, it's a street for me.
Yeah, you do people outside.
I saw the couple that invented the Groove for me. Oh, wow.
So,
I saw a couple that said that invented the Groove. And all of a sudden, they want to trust each other.
I don't know, what do you mean? What's wrong with trust with someone?
No, like for you, I'm not saying there's any problem, guys, meeting at a Groove. But the way they were saying that we now want to commit, if someone says that we now want to commit, so do you mean before you're not committing, that's why you're hanging out with the group? You know what I mean? Anyway, nowadays, there are statistics that the ones that you find at church are the ones that are more doing that. Pardon? You guys don't go to church in the day.
Every Sunday.
Sunday.
So I can show you right now. Every Sunday.
That means wake up on the Sunday morning is not against church. Wow, that's interesting. I mean, the class that I had last year, there was no one who said go to church. And I'm not talking about like specific churches, just going to church. No one would say that. So anyway, guys, let's get deeper into content, because sometimes it is not the content that is a problem. Your content can be great, but the problem could also be your target audience. I don't know if I'm making any sense. So sometimes you can have a good, you can be someone who's charming, someone who is good, but if you're approaching wrong people, like those are not within your demographic, it might not resonate well. You guys need elaboration on that. It happens. I mean, okay, let's move on. I wanted to say that now as Bonobuti, you are from Tembisa, then all of a sudden you want to chase someone from Morningside. Of course, chances of you winning are high, but also chances of you losing are very high. That's why you hear people saying that you're not my type. So they've got no problem with your content. They're just telling you that you're not my type. There are also brands, guys, when you're spreading down on social media, even if their content is good, you're like, no, this is not for me. It's not that there's nothing wrong that they did with their content, but they're just not for you. I don't know if I'm making any sense. How many people, guys, have you told that they are not your type? Even Jen said you're not my type. Oh, I thought you weren't killing Sipoya for men. Men?
Standards.
That's very interesting to hear, guys, that they've got standards. So, see, I mean, you can't lower those standards.
For what?
Pardon? For someone who's not a child. Because they've availed themselves to you.
Just because they're yellow doesn't mean.
To give up. But most people, now I'm very want to say that the good person is born, like the one, that one, who is a little white with the young of this time,
It's good, but
Guys, would you like to get to interesting?
So good looking.
Not good looking, good person. Someone who's so respecting, someone. So you guys actually want to travel, is that what you tell me?
The woman must look good first before you worry about anything else.
Yeah, that's very true. Especially someone like English is out, you know. I mean, even now, how many times have I been asked to stand up with my wife and all of a sudden she's acting? You know, I don't want to feel, you know. I really stand up, so we might find some point. Now we're with that time that we have to feel. You know, I think people like saying that this is our help, here, this is our guidance. Keep inside the pack, because it's so. James, since nowadays the tables are changing around, would you be happy in a relationship if it is the lady who made the first step?
That doesn't mean.
Let you want to go.
What do you mean she made?
Like, of course, maybe you like her, but she realized that you are delaying the approach. Then she approaches you first and asks you out.
That doesn't.
Some women in United States, who show on first, I know it's wrong.
That's
It has.
It happens, but it's very rare.
It happens, but it's very bad. But if it happens to you, the head is that.
If I don't have, if I like the phone, yeah, so. Yeah.
Ladies, would you make the move? Because for no one like you want this guy, you know that this guy will never make a move. You just let go. He's not yet there, but he wants it.
The girl will end up being the one carrying the
Oh,
Oh, I thought you guys between me. I just want to be.
There's every like, it happens where girls are which men make, but basically it's just a humiliation ritual.
Or the humiliation if you are changed down.
woman is still rich.
I can see that it's just those together.
Yeah.
So it's ritual, like rather serious something.
Okay, but do we take that content to ask after me? Remember, talking about content here.
Yes, I'm saying.
So we don't tell plan like this, is what I'm going to tell him. This is what,
Yeah.
what if you reach forever? Because you don't even hit and hit. That's it, I'm not going to get for that. As this thing, that if you made for me, if you're my person, I don't think that can. I didn't think that that job. We are sent from level, you know, suddenly. But it's another debate for another day.
When you are married to your partner, I'm sure like you knew about them at some point.
I knew way before I did it, when she was dating someone.
Yes.
I actually told her, that when I'm going to marry you, I'm doing for them. I told her in 2011, because they decided. You know, I was like, we're not one day of marrying, but by that time I knew I was safe. No, but yeah, in 2015, that's when we started dating. Pardon? Yeah.
What else? Obviously.
We have to never say.
You are going to get.
At all.
Yeah, I've checked it, just for you. But I checked, then what I checked was pretty nice. Yes, I did see as you are saying, but I wasn't afraid. She's the one who was afraid. Because of the way things happened, she thought I would never trust her, that she was going to do the same thing to me.
And I've never seen where.
Yeah, woman is on share, literally she was cheating with me.
So when you tell that,
Pardon?
you tell me.
Yeah, I'm telling you, because the guy was very fast, so like, it was a long distance relationship. Pardon? That one, there's nothing that I can do. The only thing that I can do is when she tells me that she's no longer interested in me, then, yeah, I'll let it go. But if she cheats and she asks for forgiveness, I'll forgive her. I'm big for you. Make mistakes, I also do. Guys, you guys like, when you put them in standardized mistakes and search why five is the mistake, no, why I think five, guys, choose the mistakes.
So you went to that without a mistake. First, you went to the person without a mistake.
Things do happen.
And then was my so you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, if when you're someone you shoot there in the kitchen, you know what you're doing, but it's a mistake.
Cheating.
You know it's wrong.
The only mistake is you.
Pardon?
The only mistake is you. Yeah. I think it's
The truth is, guys, I cannot fake it, I'm a Christian. I'm not saying that if she cheats on me, I'm not going to feel pain. Don't misquote me on that. Of course, I'll be heartbroken. But I know that will be room for forgiveness. You know? If she shows that she's willing to do with me, but if she says, dude, I've moved on, I love this guy, then you have to let it go. The problem is me seeing her cheating, then all of a sudden I say, go away. It doesn't happen like that. She has to be the one telling me, you know. That's the language that we speak. She also said the same thing. She said that it's not going to be just conclusive for me to just leave and then let your search move in. Say she's a coward. That's what she told me. That she won't let another woman just move in just like that. But if I show her that I'm no longer interested in her, she will let me go. Remember, guys, some of us, before you get married, do manage courses and counseling and stuff like that. You come to accept what you've accepted. So for you guys, you might see cheating as not a mistake, but I see cheating as a mistake. Because the Bible talks about temptation. How can you not
Temptation.
If she loves you too much, it's not successful. We can't get that. She's gonna cheat. Obviously, she's human. So she has feelings also. So obviously, she's gonna get tilted and cheat. But if she loves you, she'll never put herself in a position.
Then what if I need to tell them this to sir? I know most people get cheated on. They see themselves as victims. But they can also that's something. All of a sudden, I spend whole month away.
If I
You know.
Yes.
But the same Bible says that every sin can be forgiven, right?
Yeah,
That's the Bible. That's in the Bible. It says that you must forgive 7 times sometimes.
the relationship should be kept going simply basis.
But the same Bible talks about vows, right?
But it also speaks
To
about.
tear us apart. So if, as long as she is alive and I'm alive, why must we break up? That one will forgive straight away. That one will, I'm trying. And I'm not break, I'm big for you. That should forgive. And she also know others who forgive their husband. We don't live in silence, we live in communities. Yes, I don't wish my wife to cheat on me, eh? I don't. Like something that I pray for every day because the women cheat. In fact, they move on. So I don't expect it, but I'm also picturing myself like, what if I go home right now, she knows that I'm in class and I go, all of a sudden I find the menu top of it. What is staring at me? You need to prepare yourself for that because those things happen. You are marketers, guys. There's what is in marketing, there's what is called scenario planning. You plan a scenario. What if this campaign is not going well? What am I going to do? You can't just say, oh, God forgive because it's too late. There will be a point where someone will be mad or kill someone in love and forced to forgive that person. I mean, right now you guys are complaining for being cheated on someone who didn't even play no ball of you. Anyway, we're talking about. All right, guys, let's move on. We're talking about the target audience. So, I'm using two computers here. I hope it's going to work. So today, guys, the focus is on segmentation because segmentation actually tells a lot whether your content is going to be successful or not. I don't know if I'm making any sense. The challenge that we have as human beings, just as society, we've got a tendency of wanting to impress people who are not even our target audience. We have got a tendency of wanting to impress people who are not in our class. I don't know if I'm making any sense. If you're a brand, for example, if you are Lamborghini or whatever the larger brands are saying, they can't be trying so hard to appear in SAPC because their clients are not there. Even the language that they are speaking, it must resonate with the language of their clients. I don't know if I make any sense, guys. So the same thing that you guys were speaking about cheating and stuff like that. Some of you guys, honestly speaking, that is fire upon. You put yourself in a situation that you know very well. Even while you're starting the gym, you know that you're going to be cheated on. And some people say, yeah, I saw the red flags. That's something like that. So why were you there if you saw the red flags? Because that's the same thing if we go back to my wife. I knew that this one is not a cheating type. Because I've had cheating types before. And I would know that these ones, even if I leave her to rank, she's going to give someone an hour. So you need to understand who you're giving your attention and the value that they bring to you. It's all about value. If I'm talking to golfers and I'm Mercedes, I know that most people play golf are rich. I'm not saying that there's no one who is poor who cannot play golf, but the majority of most people will be at a golf course. It will be people. So you know that these people have got a potential value that they are bringing to you. But now we've got a challenge of just wanting to be heard everywhere. I've seen brands just want to copy numbers. They are not looking at the value that their audiences are going to bring. I don't know if I'm making sense. So sometimes we need to understand if I want to give with attention, am I expecting any kind of value from push? So content is all about the value that you're giving your audience, not the desperation. Most of you guys sometimes do something because you are desperate. I can't be saying, Mina, no way. Let me just learn this one. Desperate. Then all of a sudden it starts showing you friends. Then once it starts showing you friends, all of a sudden you change your motivation. Your people are looking, guys are good with motivation there. The only thing is all of a sudden you understand that men are good, men are busy. What can tell you men, not us. And all of a sudden you turn into a motivation speaker. So we are going to look at segmentation and how you tailor your content, to that segment. So just as a recap, I'm sure you guys did this. We've got geographic segmentation, demographic segmentation, psychographic, and behavioral. These ones, the first two are always simple because it will be for a specific location or geography or territory, if I'd put it this way. It's easy, you just know that I'm talking to people who are in Soweto. You focus on Soweto people. And also, this one, demographic, it's easy because it say I'm focusing on women, or I'm focusing on single people, I'm focusing on men, I'm focusing on educated people, or I'm focusing on those without matric, or I'm focusing, all those societal traits that separate people, whether social class, gender, race, culture, and so forth. You can say, I'm focusing on Zulu people. That's your demographic. Okay, that's also easy because the demographic themselves will tell you. But the last two there, these are very difficult. Psychographic and behavioral. Why? Psychographic are dealing with psychology. People who are introverted or extroverted, it's difficult to measure that. Some would pretend as if they are introverted and then all of a sudden there is something else. Some are sociopath, some are psychopath. Well, but people from Norway, we are chilling, we are just enjoying. The mood changes from Norway. As if we want to say the new influence, something like that. We have seen people like that. You do not offend them, they just change their, so that's your psychographic. And yes, psychographical segmentation play a huge part in marketing. For example, if you are Savannah, you are Smirnoff, you need to understand these people's psychological nature. For example, if someone is always outgoing, extrovert, you know that the chances are that they'll come across that beer at a pub and stuff like that, not a dinner. Or if someone is indoors, I'm not saying that people are indoors do not drink, but you can actually see someone's character, like traits. You guys know traits, like personality. It has got a lot to say on how they consume products. Then behavior. That one is very tricky because it talks a lot about attitude. So psychographics is all about personality traits. Behavior is all about attitude towards brain, attitude towards people, and so forth. For example, you've got people who are never grateful in life. Who say everything from birthday, Valentine's, Women's Day, Mother's Day, Girlfriend Day, Christmas, all the holiday, everything. And whether you're going to birthday, she doesn't do anything for you, but still she's not grateful. That's the behavior. Remember, people are raised different. There are some people who are raised to appreciate even a small thing. Then there are people, no matter how good you are, continue to focus. Right? So behavior also says a lot about how you are going to be communicating with a specific segment. And also behavior can also tell whether the audience is forgiving or not. Remember, there are some things that brands can do that customers can never forgive them for. I don't know if you guys know. For example, you mistakenly say that black people are angry. Some people diss you for good. There's someone out there who just clicks in that hair brand, was it Trisam or something like that? That's it, that women's hair, black women, braids and stuff like that. Someone who never forget. I think this person has been forgiven. I saw with the cheating thing, like no one will say I can forgive a cheating partner. Which is very scary. Because the guy said, go to church. God do what he I mean,
No, the thing is, forgiveness doesn't equal toleration. So like
you forgive and move on.
yeah, so like you can forgive somebody, but it doesn't mean you have to associate yourself with them after you forgive them.
Yeah, there's a little actual told that like forgiveness does not necessarily mean reconciliation. In fact, that I'm tolerating it doesn't mean that we're going to go together. So
It doesn't equal toleration.
but here we could say we will have given someone another chance. Guys, have you never given someone a chance after cheating? Ladies, let's be honest. Yeah, I don't know. It's a fact. Yeah, you can act your toughest attacker, but we know that when he starts spinning and spinning, constantly you can make things better, right? All of a sudden, it's actually who is apologizing for my cheating.
Yeah.
We can't do that. We're just only trolling drums, it's all practically, and it's started, then you know that you're not doing it. So now you're with you know, sorry for not giving me that. I'll make sure that next time I give you time to start doing it in my system. Remove it.
I don't know, just. They give it man.
That's happy. I'm thinking about things like this.
Like, you're okay, like, that actually is not like, even like, for fun. What changes how.
And you guys can pretend to forgive, eh?
Like, I think they cheated or something.
I heard you guys have got so much issues with cheating.
If you question yourself, like, why would you do that?
But how do you know that cheating is human nature?
It's not even.
It's human nature. But I'm going to tell you that, guys. Let's not use emotions here. Let's use facts. We are animals by nature. That's a fact. And even human beings are actually better because an animal will live in nature with its mother. I don't know if you guys know that. If you agree. And there was someone, I think Bev Zopton also had a video thing, saying that she can't get a man who cannot cheat. Say that a man, some lady needs to like you. You can't be a boring man like on your contract, there's no one who's threatening the relationship. Something like that. She mentioned
Let's
something.
think opposite.
Pardon? So gents, there's no way you guys can keep. Get it, I forgive. Yeah, free advice for gents. And now I'm being a good brother. And I told someone, I think I told you in the other class. Guys, apart from everything, it's not like I'm not tempted to cheat. But the truth is, cheating is expensive. Yeah, I'm a man. Come on, I'm not a man. Cheating is very expensive, emotionally, financially, like from whatever angles. Cheating is a full-time job. Now you have to lie every day, every time, and you need to make sure that yesterday is lying, you cheat today's lie. You know, you have to fork out money. Imagine that now I'm getting a man with my wife. If they decide she can be nails and stuff like that. That's expensive, truly speaking. And also you need to inherit someone's problems. Because if she's myself, if she's going through something, I need to be there for him. You know, something that is none of my business. You see, so for me, I wouldn't encourage anyone to cheat for that matter because I feel like it's a job on its own. Apart from everything else that you can enjoy, cheating is a job. You know? And for that nature, we all have amateurs and other plans. You can't want to go around mixing with different classes. What are you? I mean, there are so many things to consider. I just want to put this out clear because you guys think I'm saying I'm cheating. No. I also cheat. Pardon?
Innocent being cheated.
No
Do you
way.
believe you?
No way. Yeah, when you've got some rough ideas about me that are not correct. Guys, I've got a reputation. That's the challenge. If I don't have a reputation, I wouldn't mind. Because it was torturous in man. Then let's move on.
Okay.
So, no, I'm talking guys. I just wanted to say that. So, those who do this term, is it cheating polygamy? But it's not about cheating before you come in, right? Like the celeb or whoever, yes, cheat is but they don't say like, let me find it. It's not like he told the men, women that I'm going to do forever. It always like when people come in here, then I want to get it scary. But I feel like before you make it official, cheat. I don't know.
I think you can have a conversation.
Pardon?
You can have a conversation, right?
That is some point I'm going to have another. Yeah, some people do that.
Ask them if they would say.
How shall I women can accommodate that? This thing.
I would.
Where are you guys from? Only very much in your culture.
Yeah, on the first six, but not for. You know what? It's basically, it's easy for you to accept as a second wife because you got into it knowing what's going on. As a first wife, it's difficult because in Diego, remember,
But still haven't changed your way of that you guys support them.
why are you repeating?
But that's what they said. You said that you fairly women first. So the first one, you know, would just be waiting like for when it's going to happen.
Yeah,
That
but
means
you
no.
know, it's half truth there because if like one people say, okay, I'm dating you, but my future holds 2 wives or 3 wives. So I get into this knowing very well, but okay, if there's no one there, there's people talking about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
However, now I'll be okay being the second wife, not the first one, nor the third one.
All right. And some say that the second one is spoiled more than the first.
And only the second one is okay.
And the second one is trying to cause as well. Trying to cause that, no respect. You know, one of the main things that I have to consider in getting a woman is someone who respects my mother. That one is non-negotiable. Respecting elders. Nowadays, respect, and respect is not how you say things. Eh? We are going to talk about respect in terms of content because their brains do not respect customers. Respect is all about how you do things, how you weigh, how you say things, and everything. But nowadays, respect seems to be diminishing very quick. So, how can segmentation be used in content marketing, guys? Based on what I've told you so far, think about the content that you have in your mind, right? The content that you have in your mind. How can you use segmentation? Yes, Tando. Understanding their language, even if they're not speaking to you, know their language, know their anticipated reaction as well. Think about it, guys, on your status, your WhatsApp status. Who doesn't post a status at all? Okay, those who post statuses now, you do segmentation without realizing how. I'll put an example myself. My mother cannot view my status. I removed it from my status. Oh. I'm segmenting because I know that the things that I post there, I want my mother to see them. I don't know if I make any sense. So sometimes even when you are taking a picture at the beach, you know, wearing a bikini, you remove the pastor as a church. And of course, that you know that this is not going to resonate well. This content is not going to resonate well. I don't know if I'm making any sense here.
No.
So you are segmenting. It can be geographical, like you remove people, your homeboy, people from your hometown, that's geographic. Okay? Or you remove specific gender or age, that's demographic. Example, if it's people my father's age, if they're going to see these things, I'm going to be in trouble. You remove them. That's demographic. I don't know if I'm making any sense. So brains will also do that. Like this is the kind of the content that you want to resonate with people in Soweto. Let's eliminate people from Sandton. It does not necessarily mean that people from Sandton will see it because remember, the internet is a global village on its own. But in your content, it will be clear that you are addressing people of this location, that you are talking to people of this age, that you are dealing with people with this personality trait, that you are dealing with people with this kind of a behavior. So that's how you apply segmentation. Does it make sense? Any questions so far? Are there any questions? So let's select an organization. Yes, behind that. Oh, but does it make sense, right? Guys, let's select a brand that we know and let's have an exercise on what is it that you need to think about when generating content for it. Which brand, popular brand, you want us to discuss? Nike. Okay, everyone knows Nike, right? Nike. All right. So we have seen campaigns for Nike. Nike has been accused of so many things, including exclusion. I don't know if you guys know that. Nike historically had a tendency of, in their content, I'm talking about their content, they had a tendency of portraying masculine people, right? Thin-capped women. Like this is the desired body that you need to have in order to wear Nike. That's how it appeared to people. Then all of a sudden Nike started diversifying. Now, I don't know if you guys saw that fat kid who was running. Exercise wearing Nike. I don't know. Did you see that, man, guys? So nowadays, Nike is shifting in form of their content. Nowadays, there's a trend about plus size. Are you guys not coming across that? Plus size people now being involved in model, being a model and stuff like that. So it's no longer about these skeletons. I was looking at you, I knew that we were going to have that video. No, guys, I don't mean to body shame, but yeah, media is always portrayed, a specific type of a woman that is desired in society. And that's also a drive behind the PPL and all this stuff. Because that's an expected body. And it takes a huge toll on women. Huge. Like I can even sit on my wife because my wife, when she was a student, she used to like things that way. Then now she have head and all stuff. And she was like, she's not catching up well with society.
That's too much to be
Obvious.
Then why am I being?
Sorry?
Why are you doing to me?
I love being on the sky.
Huh?
I love being on the sky.
You all the time. Ask,
So unfortunately, on that thing called.
But it's not for way that's to do good. I was supposed to just you want to do good about the stuff.
It's funny, that makes me feel.
It's never not my baby, no, it's cause what you know.
Natural things, and I'm very grateful of natural things. So why must I touch the plastic? Anyway, I'm not judging those who could be there, but I'm just showing you guys like how media will drive people, and also the innovations, technologies. And Nike was doing that before, but nowadays Nike is trying to come from a segmentation point of view to drive diversity, to drive inclusion. Now Nike has got unisex stuff. I don't know if you know that. Unisex. But I feel like it's women always have wearing men's things, not vice versa. Guys, would you wear a legging? But they're legging for jets, which I don't exercise. Imagine it, I don't know what. But I've seen some. That's why I could have said, no, I'm not going to wear this honestly. I don't know if you guys know the story. So yeah, this thing of masculinity, you need to think about it if you're a sports brand like Nike, because you do not want to be criticized for your content. Remember, content, guys, is very sensitive. Content can lead to brand boycott if you are not careful with content. Content can lead to litigation that can be sued. All of a sudden, it's like you are putting things, women and stuff like that. Then women will be like, wait, what are you saying about us? Because God gave us this body. So you're saying we can't wear this. They can sue that, and that's explosion. And can't like this one that talks a lot about discrimination, you can be in trouble as a brand. I don't know if you guys are aware that there are discrimination laws in this country. For example, if one way they say that we don't want someone with laws, who are they? Things like that. So you need to understand as Nike as a brand, how you tailor your content. So it's not about what you're going to say. It's about how what you're going to say resonates with society. Does it make sense? Now, does it have winter clothes? Yeah, jackets for night. Guys, can you please rate next content, whatever content that you came across on social media or whatever in terms of night?
Rate it out.
Okay, do you think they are good? Do you think they can relate to society?
I think that one of the best. And
Compare that with Adidas in terms of content?
Right.
We're not trying anymore.
Pardon?
Putting in any effort anymore. As we know with, ideas, we see ideas working with my people. It's doing something like the content it comes up with, and then it's compared to Nike. It has reality, yeah.
Oh, so there's no need to put effort in that. They just do it, like they are very nice.
Exactly.
You disagree, you have to disagree, what do you think? But they can't relax. That's why I do with it. I mean, you've seen with VW and Toyota and all these, long-lasting brand that they have relaxed. Toyota was like, oh, I'm the best. No one can have a value. No one can have a Fortuna and Corolla and stuff like that. VW will be like, oh, I'm comfortable with Polo. BMW will be like, oh, then all of a sudden there's almost there's no, and they're taking a huge chunk in the market.
Yeah, that's
Even the Bajaj, people be watching the Bajaj, but you are always there inside the Bajaj. So you can't just relax. And yes, I don't think these new brands will get to next level, for example. Like, I don't think that these new phones or Oppo or whatever, they will get to Apple's level, or Samsung. But Samsung can't relax on the top, that's all I'm trying to say.
Have you seen the meters?
Yeah. So it's the same thing with many people, relax. I think that big money thing that it's not ready. There are sharks out there, merciless sharks. So yes, guys, content keeps society engaged, but we also need to understand society. Remember, we did personal analysis, social factors, environmental factors, and so forth. Some brands are doing well because they can even understand religious calendars, for example. If it's Easter holidays, if it's Ramadan, if it's in Islam, or whatever Jewish tradition and so forth, and would love to create content that moves along, like align with people's cultures and people's rituals and so forth, instead of offending them. I don't know if I've got enough time. I was going to show you guys what Red Bull did. You know Red Bull, right? Red Bull had an advert, of course, an advert in the form of a content. And that advert was towards Easter. They put that, remember, Red Bull, their viral is always Red Bull. If you win, like you can fly, whatever. So they had content with Jesus walking on top of water. We know that story about Jesus. But in that video, when it's on YouTube, at the end of that video, they're like, oh, probably Jesus is walking on top of stones, cannot fly. Fly like a Red Bull. So if you want to fly, have the Red Bull, instead of walking on top of water, Jesus is walking on the top. It was a huge backlash for Christians. That's smart. Pardon? That's smart. That's smart. Yeah, for them it was smart, but it was not smart for their customers. That's the problem. Then all of a sudden there was a huge backlash. Not only Christians, including Muslims. Remember, Jesus portrayed as someone else in Islam. He's also portrayed as someone else in Jewish, So they had a huge backlash. Now they're forced to apologize, and they did the thing, good thing and apologize, but if they didn't, they're going, like, it's easy guys to see sales coming from, trust me. So sometimes you think, oh, you are being funny, but if you're offending some culture or some certain group of society with your content, then it becomes something. I mean, think about it, how most Zulus will feel offended when you say, Shaka sold the land with a mirror. You guys have heard that several times, right? But as a brand, you can't say that. It's okay when people are saying it in societies. Even if it's a fact or it's not a fact, you know. Sometimes people are comfortable saying that together. But as a brand, don't get involved in that. And none of does that very well. You know. It relies on controversy, but it doesn't generate controversy itself. I don't know if I'm making any sense. So you are using controversy to drive engagement by not being controversial yourself. And then the day you're just selling a chicken. But now, if you are being part of the controversy and making accusations and defamations, it becomes a problem. And if you guys, when I creating your content, I know we have lots of content creators in this class. Be careful. Yes, you can have huge numbers. You know, nowadays people believe in things going viral. It can go viral. And it can be smart at that moment. Sooner or later it becomes something else. Think about McKenzie ghetto. All of a sudden tweets, I don't know if they are cooked tweets or if it's real, but I see that coming out about things that used to say about blacks. Then all of a sudden you also have black voters that voted for him. You get what I mean? So by that time, you might have been smart saying that yes, a black person deserves to get the back of the parking because black Christmas things. And I've seen those, I don't know if they are legit or not. Then school happens with AI, you don't know what is being put on it. But something that you would have said 20 years ago, remember, the internet never forget. Never forget. So that's the challenge. So the content that you can create now in general small rights and the human it can be used against you tomorrow. There's something that is trending nowadays and people are paying for border. There's an image that will be there, like the people that discuss like spam bullying for South Africa. So imagine whether you are happy, oh, a milestone in my life, people are now going to pay the border for me. All of a sudden they are seeing you twerking in 1924 with a savannah book on your tongue. What does give you an impression about who really you are? Because people are no, that was my class.
Yes, that's why I'm ready to be an If that done that, I'm good. Same.
Guys, can you forgive the past?
Yes.
Do you believe people can be born again?
Yes.
For example, if you know that I was a serial cheater and now I want to settle with you, would you be happy to do that? And you have got proof that I'm no longer doing that kind of shit. Since I'm not saying anything, I know you have to be Guys, I don't mean to diminish. Guys, I don't mean to diminish sex work. For example, James, would you get an entire sex work? She is retired. The skills can even confirm. That used to be her own life. Now she's doing this, and she has valid reasons why she used to do that.
Why would you? Why would you go and say that? Somebody could be okay.
It's very dangerous what you are saying. But
Why would you go inside a broken house?
No, this one is very radical. This one, no. So you guys do believe in damaged goods. That's what she's literally saying. Like, why would you have damaged goods? Is there something? Is there anything called damaged goods, guys? I don't think so. Come on.
That's why I don't tell when a woman sleeps.
Pardon?
I didn't tell when, like, One instance with two men the same day and they work.
Yes. And who are they sleeping with? It's men. So why must men have that standard?
Exactly.
That's the same thing, that story that happened in Bible when the elders wanted to stone that woman for sleeping with men. They're like, no, go bring the people who sleep with them so that they can be stoned as well. Because now we just if women are committing all these things with other creatures, but they're doing it with men. Those who are sex with, for example, their customers are men. So why are men act innocent now? Is it they are the one who made that person is damaged? All right, let me put it this way, Titi.
Yeah.
If you once had Omakuta 1 or 2 times,
No.
nah, right? Like you know the industry, you have done it maybe less times, and now it's time for you to say, would you say with a retired sex worker?
Yeah.
Because you've been there as well.
It.
Okay. Even if you want say the book up 1 or 2. Why not? At least you know the industry better. I mean, I've seen most men say that I do not want a woman who drinks. You got someone at your roof, right? Now things got better, and all of a sudden you want to say, and then you tell him not to go to the roof again. Is that, do you think it's okay?
If you both met at group,
Yes.
then it means very true day.
No, you're not proving, I don't know who was. Why do you move when you're not in meeting?
Why would you want to be made men?
No, most patrons doesn't agree to our meeting. If men have to stay home, trust me, guys, most of these great do this.
And you know, that it's like the Muslim that cheat up.
Yeah, it's not true.
Do you know why?
That was this person that judged me when I said I was in a sleep club.
Told us. I did in charge.
They're like, did you tell your wife before you went there?
Yes.
Yeah. She knows I was in a sleep club. But she knows that I've never do what people in the sleep club do. Finish and crack.
So not been interested. You should also have. Should be, and you should be a video this.
So what made you think that she was honest for that? Actually. And when someone voluntarily confessed that actually you will forgive them. Like you're never going to find out it's them come opening up telling you that not I feel so bad. I cheated.
I wouldn't care, but once mistakes, there's a lot of it.
So you forgive and move on. You know, that.
What's this question?
If you're going to leave me,
Are you asking if your man does something wrong and then they come to you every time?
yes, and you know that you never find out. If it wasn't for them, actually coming to confess to me. So there are levels of whether it's good or not to children is forgiven.
No, but if you come to me and we finding out, me finding out means that you probably would like we're gonna continue to do that, you know. So you coming to me shows that clearly, like, you know, it's like repenting.
Okay, we need to take notes. We need to take lots of notes. So guys, how is content marketing then related to, how is content marketing related to sales? Do you think content marketing can boost sales, can make people buy, can make people come back? Okay. So guys, there are things that you need to research before talking to someone. And I'll go back with the example that I used at the first, saying that someone who is always rejected, for example, it means that they did not do proper homework. You need to understand before approaching someone, you have an idea about it. Right? Because if you don't have an idea about Usno, it's a problem. So if I talk Usno, I go first of all, we are part. So you know a part, this is how I'm going to do things. You know, no, it's just an example. Please don't feel offended. Or if Sue is very quiet, I know that all. But there is a homework that I need to do before approaching Sue. So Homework means doing research. Okay, so you need to do research, understand the trends. What is it that is needed, in order to win someone's heart? Because that's what brains are doing. They want to win your hearts. I don't know if you guys know that. So look at the current trends, look at the industry influencers. Also look at what competitors are doing. How do you want to be different? Sia asked me, hey, what should I miss in? Hey, what should I? Yeah, I did that. See, that guy is doing that. Then I have capital. Why is it that this man died? It does not mean that you will be successful whatsoever. There's what is called trial and error. You try something, you fail. You go back, make the wood, put the value, come back stronger. You do something, you can't be successful in one day. I mean, how many times have you guys planned something like make a surprise and all of a sudden it flops this month? It does happen. So you need to understand the environment. Look at the facts, look at the industries. And even if there's something trending, you also need to understand whether it suits your style. I mean, there was something that was trending recently, and Standard Bank was doing it. Then all of a sudden people started laughing at Standard Bank. Like, it was too embarrassing for Standard Bank. I forgot it was trending recently. I actually forgot. But I'm saying that there are some things that are trending, for example, for the youth or for the informal. So listen, that if you're an old people, then you are doing it. It'll be like boring for you. I don't know how to put it. I mean, hearing my mother say, who's her name? I super. That's not for you. I don't know if that makes any sense. So you don't just do something because it's trending, but also understand if it is within your style or not. Know what is it that is influencing people and so forth. And also, you can also be a trend setter yourself. So even if there are trends, you can be the leader in trends. I don't know if that makes any sense. For example, in my family, I'm a trend setter. All of a sudden, there are many people who want to be me. Not that I'm deaf, but I'm the only one who paid all out, like to get it, man, stretch. Others, it was each and run and so forth and so forth. So all of a sudden, I've set that trend that this is what needs to be done. So there are also industry brains that are trend setters. They start something. Nando's a trend setter. All of a sudden, with that petrol thing, people trying to be Nando's all of a sudden. So you can't do that. You can't just be following trends at all the times. You can also start your own thing. So now, as marketers, you also need to understand who is it that is going to produce content. Must we steal content from others? There are brands who have got a tendency of stealing content. That is a violation of IP, because content can also be copyrighted. I don't know if you guys know that. Yeah, there are people who steal content. Like when I was on Facebook this morning, I could see one of you content creators on Facebook stealing that Mapunyamo. All of a sudden they want to be relevant, because he is reporting the incident at the Mapunyamo. So that's stealing content. There are images that are protected. I don't know if you guys know that. There are images that are protected. There are videos that are protected. There's music that is protected. There's some social media platforms will tell you to actually credit that song to the author. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. So all those things, you need to understand the production of content. If it's stolen content, then it's a problem. And I know most of you guys share stolen content. You do that all the times. Then you also need to understand who will edit the content. In some organizations, all those things can be done by one person, but sometimes you can actually have a content marketing team, whereby an editor, we are working on an editor. I edit lots of articles, okay? And you also need to know what is it to edit and what is it not to edit. Editing is not only taking away things that and bringing interesting things. You also need to know from a branding point of view whether the content aligns with your brand. Okay. Who will transform the edited content into striking piece of content? Who will publish and distribute the content? There's something that was not said there. Who will also take down the content? For example, at work, my boss can take down content. So sometimes they say there's a client who is not happy with how we publish content, and then I'm kept up. And the client can decide to take it down now before I take legal action. So imagine if I'm in hospital. Someone else needs to take down that content, to delete it, or so forth. Then who will measure the content? Looking at the impressions, the clicks, the virality, and so forth. In some cases, as I said, all those things can be done by one person. In some cases, you can actually have people who are tasked with different aspects of content. So you have heard this saying, guys, failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Have you heard that? Meaning that if you don't prepare, chances are that you're going to fail. Guys, do believe in that? I think someone mentioned it was not that. In some instances, don't need to plan your content when you're asking someone because they're meant for you. Are there such instances that you don't have to sit down and think about it? Which you say, yes, remember. Because she over here has been sent by our parents. So guys, don't think ancestors are doing something good for you. That is what they have trained you. Ancestors hate humans. Who believes in burning newspaper? You guys don't believe in your culture, eh? Guys, do you think of potatoes? Do you think of potatoes? Like a good relationship with those that died before you? So you're on your own. In other words. Wow, that's interesting. Very interesting. So you guys, if you are struggling to find a job, why don't you go to your website and ask for a job from the website? But do you know, guys, that those functions do happen? Yeah. And do well. And you start, your content is not working, you don't have the wife. You go and consult about plans, then all of a sudden you get experience after 2 days with the wife. Anyway, I don't believe in such, but I get work for me. I believe that I'm on my own. If I don't make things work, no one is going to make it work for me. You know? Hello?
It's not majority, it's more of, I'm just pray to them, yeah, I pray and I'll go on.
So, that is the same thing with the brains. We discussed Nike, remember? Nike cannot last, guys. If Nike was so happy or Apple were so happy that they're liked by people, let them fire their content team. And let's see if they are going to survive. Let them fire their marketing team and rely on their new releases, their iPhone 16, 17, and 18. They still need content, guys. They still need to think about segmentation. They still need to think about how they communicate with their customers. If they do not prepare, chances are that they are going to fail. And we have seen big brands failing for that matter. By now, we could be doing BBM, you know, but BlackBerry is no. Do you guys know BBM? But as it stands, you know, it's nowhere to be found. So even if you're a huge giant, thinking that people love your product, but you're not communicating, things can fail. And we have heard several times people saying that communication is key. I'm sure some of you guys have used that as well, you know. And silence on its own, it's also communication. There's something that I forgot to mention here. We also need to say who will publish the frequency of your content. So are you going to do content twice per month, once per month, and so forth? Content creators, do you have a plan on how much content do you need to produce per month or per day? What should you do that? I heard that social media content. Do you have like a publishing strategy? Whereby say maybe you publish once a week, or you publish twice a week, or you only publish when you have good content? 3 times a month. Okay. Let's hear someone else. How many times a month? Who would do 3 times a day? It's too much. 3 times a day. Remember, guys, publishing content also has got nothing to do with how loaded you are with content. You also want to give your content a chance to breathe so that it can generate more likes. Okay? If you publish 10 items per day, how are you going to interact with those 10 things at a time? I don't know if I make any sense. So you wanted to, for example, with a newsletter that you publish every Thursday. We have got the power to publish that newsletter every day. But we do not want to overwhelm people with their emails, inboxes with our newsletter. So we simply do it once in a week, We feel like that's enough, it does not overwhelm them. And it's not also wanted to become a national anthem. How do you feel, guys? Someone telling me I love you every second.
It's like a lie.
And all of a sudden that I love you does not have that soup anymore. I don't know if that makes any sense. How often do you want to be told I love you? Or I miss you? How more often? And I know most of you guys have never been told. Oh, yeah, look at I didn't make time. Anyway, let me tell you guys I love you. Let's move on. No, of course I love you guys. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't have put all the efforts that I have. I'll just come, read through the slides, and then say we are dismissed. That's a fact. Most lecturers do that. They don't have any relationship with students, like know your name and stuff like that, But for the fact that I know there's Horata in class, it means that I love you. But don't go stay around there. You say, stop me. Anyway, guys, are there any questions about content marketing? Do you have an idea about? I know you guys can produce content. So what I wanted to actually discuss with you guys is the issues around content, because all of us, honestly, we can say something. Saying something is producing content. But I just wanted to give you guys a picture that there are some things that you need to consider when saying that content. Does it make sense, people? Are there any questions? Are there any comments? Are there any queries? We have started the assignment already. So you guys, the Lord is your shepherd. We haven't started the assignment yet. I don't know if you guys saw that. Nowadays, I'm trying by all means to record everything as much as possible. So I shared the assignment